Instagram reading on June the 18th, 2026. Let's go. Here's some posts that I have saved during the past few months. First of all, a post from Ted: how to bring more play into your life. Play isn't just about having fun, though that's important too. It fuels curiosity, creativity, connection, and well-being. In honor of the International Day of Play, we pulled together some actionable ways that you can bring more play into your everyday life. Whether you're a parent, an educator, or anyone who is looking to bring more joy to your community, visit the link in the text bio to learn more about the power of play and watch some brand new talks from our recent Play TED event. Okay, play is more than just a break from learning or work. It's how we solve problems, build relationships, and imagine new possibilities. Whether you're a parent, an educator, or someone who cares about their community, here are some simple ideas to help you incorporate more play into your life. If you're a parent, try first starting a mini family book club, creating a photo scavenger hunt, using character voices during story time, building an indoor-outdoor obstacle course, crafting a superhero costume from things around the house. If you're an educator, try bringing more play-based learning to your classroom, asking open-ended questions that invite students to explore and stir their curiosity, right? Guiding and facilitating play to help students thrive, helping students build worlds that allow them to learn around their interests. If you're someone who cares about making change in your community, try advocating for green schoolyards, walkable neighborhoods, and play installations, calling for a local pilot program for expanded access to play, asking your elected officials to create more playful spaces and policies, asking your town or city to recognize June 11 as the International Day of Play. Play can happen anywhere, from the kitchen table to nature to the virtual world and beyond. Check out the full guide and explore ways to create space for creativity, learning, and connection at ted.com/play. Right. Well, the next part, let's leave a like. Right? This is about production theory. What is reverb by iZotope? iZotope, right? So reverb is listening to the room. Reverb or reverberation is the persistence of sound in space after the original sound has stopped, created by sound waves reflecting off surfaces. These numerous closely spaced reflections decay in amplitude until they are no longer audible, resulting in a continuous, complex sound that reaches the listener shortly after the initial sound. Different types of reverb. Here are some examples of reverbs used in audio production today. Hall reverb simulates a large space like a concert hall. Room reverb creates the natural, intimate acoustics of a small room. Chamber reverb modeled after reflective, purpose-built echo rooms. Plate reverb uses a vibrating sheet of metal to create a smooth and colorful sound. Spring reverb achieved by vibrating a metal spring, resulting in a boingy mechanical sound. In modern music production, there are two kinds of digital reverb to choose from. Convolution reverb is the first type. Uses an impulse response or IR of a real space or a synthetically manipulated IR to precisely replicate its acoustic characteristics. The second type is algorithmic reverb, a digital processor that uses digital delays, feedback, and other signal processing components rather than samples of real spaces to synthesize reverb effect from scratch. Ways to use reverb in your music. Use a short, tight reverb on drums to add punch and realism, or a long, diffuse reverb on pads and vocals for atmosphere. Always choose the effect that complement your song's mood and speed. Use sends and returns. Use auxiliary return channels for reverb with the plugin set to 100% wet to separate your dry and wet signals. Dry ducking or pre-delay. Allow the dry signal to cut through by using a long pre-delay or employing sidechain compression on the reverb. This ensures the effect doesn't obscure the main performance. Preserve the perception of space. Minimize using differing reverbs on several tracks to preserve a consistent perception of space in the mix. Reverb 101. Okay. So, the next post by Fox.com. Why young men are killing their sperm. The most ironic side effect of looks maxing by Anna North. Okay. Interest in testosterone therapy has exploded in recent years. Prescriptions for the medication have increased 154% since 2020, the sharpest rise in men ages 35 to 44, according to market research data provided to New York Times. With the rise of video platforms like TikTok and Instagram Reels, young men are facing the kinds of pressures to perfect the face and body that women have long faced, said Jordan Foster, a sociology professor at McEwan University in Canada, who studies culture, media, and beauty. To achieve the muscular physiques prized on social media, many are turning to testosterone. What is the complicated moment for young men to take a medication that reduces their sperm count? With RFK Jr. and other Trump administration officials warning about fertility crisis in America, right? Lower sperm count, shrunken testicles, and impaired fertility are known side effects of some kinds of testosterone supplementation. Doctors can help people manage or avoid these effects with the right dosage. But the rise of direct-to-consumer medicine and gray and black market sources mean more men are taking testosterone without close medical monitoring. I think a lot of men think that taking testosterone should not compromise their fertility and will probably actually improve it by just duping. But fertility may be beside the point for many manosphere influencers. They're selling a version of masculinity, right, that's fundamentally divorced from procreation and even from having sex with women. It's all about competition among men. To win at this new form of masculinity, some men are willing to sacrifice not only their money, their mental health, and their relationships, but also their sperm, set, and a north. Right. Leave a like and move on. Vitamin C. Consumed. Right. This is from time. These 6 foods can help you get better sleep. 6 in 10 American adults don't get enough sleep, and many people in the sleep deprived camp are willing to try different tricks to get more of it. While certain foods can support better rest, it's not quite as simple as loading up on them and suddenly getting the greatest sleep of their life. Here are some foods that experts recommend trying for better sleep. Nuts. Nuts like walnuts and pistachios are among the highest natural sources of melatonin, a key sleep-related hormone. Research suggests that when people eat more foods that are high in melatonin, they tend to fall asleep faster and sleep for longer. Kiwi. Kiwi are rich in serotonin, a neurotransmitter and hormone that promotes sleep and affects your body's natural sleep-wake cycle, called your circadian rhythm. Some research has linked eating kiwis to better sleep quality and fewer middle of the night wake-ups. It's also a source of the B vitamin uh, folate, and folate deficiency is linked to insomnia, says registered dietitian nutritionist Carolyn Susie, a spokesperson for the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. Spinach. Magnesium is a mineral associated with calming the nervous system, which can help promote deep sleep, says Dr. Salmon, a deep disorder specialist. A half cup of cooked spinach has nearly 20% of the magnesium you need each day. Not getting enough magnesium is linked with insomnia and lower sleep quality, Susie adds. Nuts, seeds, beans, avocado, banana, whole grains, and other leafy greens are also good sources of magnesium. Next one, chicken. Despite what you often hear around Thanksgiving, chicken actually contains more sleep-promoting tryptophan than turkey. Tryptophan is an amino acid which your brain uses to make serotonin and melatonin. That means eating foods with tryptophan can help you feel sleepy at appropriate sleep and wake times, say Taha. Eggs, cheese, milk, pumpkin seeds, and fish all contain tryptophan. So having these foods regularly can promote better quality of sleep, she says. Salmon. Fatty fish like salmon are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which are associated with better sleep, largely due to the way they promote healthy brain cell function and decrease inflammation in the brain, Charlie says. These fats are also involved in creating serotonin and melatonin, she adds. Aim to get at least 2 servings of fatty fish a week, Susie says. Mackerel and anchovies, sardines, and herring are also high in omega-3s. Beans. In addition to magnesium, beans also contain fiber, which is famous for keeping your digestive system moving. A healthy gut has been linked to better sleep quality. Try adding chickpeas to salads, lentils to stews, or kidney beans to meat sauce with pasta, Susie recommends. Finally, when foods don't help, dietary, dietary changes require consistency to see results, whether you're hoping for better sleep or a different number on the scale. If you're unlikely to see much of a change in your sleep from your food choices alone, even if, uh, sorry, and if you're unlikely to see much of a change in your sleep from your food choices alone, if you haven't also addressed underlying sleep disorders, medications that might interfere with sleep, or habits like bringing your phone into your bed, Tara says. Read more about how you can get better sleep at the link in bio. Wow, so much um, useful vocabularies for health. This one is 16 minutes long, right? Okay. Um, this is from Healthline. Sleep myths that may be keeping you up at night. What to rethink for better sleep. Sleeping in on Sunday to catch up on the week. We've all done it. If you're dealing with insomnia, it could be doing more harm than good. While you might feel more rested, oversleeping on certain days can disrupt your sleep-wake cycle and throw off your routine. Sleep, sleep myth number one: you can catch up on lost sleep. Sleeping in on the weekends. Sleeping in on the weekends won't undo a week of poor sleep, and it can actually disrupt your sleep-wake cycle, making insomnia worse. What actually helps: for one, going to bed at the second time every night. Secondly, waking up at the same time every morning. Lastly, keeping your schedule consistent on weekends. Sleep myth number two: you should stay in bed until you fall asleep. Lying awake in bed trains your brain to associate your bedroom with stress and wakefulness, and opposite of what you want. What to do instead? Get up after 20 minutes of not sleeping. Another way is to try reading, gentle yoga, or listening to music. Lastly, only get back in bed when you feel sleepy. And the third sleep myth: how a good sleep is just about how many hours you get. You can sleep 8 hours and still wake up exhausted. Sleep quality matters just as much as quantity. What affects sleep quality? Firstly, sleep apnea and other health conditions. Another reason is stress and anxiety. And eventually, sleep environment and habits. So, that's the about sleep from Healthline. Well, it's 19, right? Right. One more post, okay, from The Guardian. Let's do it. How many thoughts do you think we have every day? Whether they are big, small, urgent, or banal, the answer is believed to be around 50,000. Is it banal? Let me check the pronunciation. Banal, right? Banal. Banal, right, okay. Banal. the first time I come across this word, obvious and boring, okay, banal. And those are just the ones that register. Subconsciously, we're constantly sifting through a barrage of stimuli, background noise, clutter on our desks, and mere presence of our phones. It's no wonder you feel distracted. Formidable though they may be, our brain's processing powers are a poor match for the fast-paced modern world, the constant pings of our device and sources of distraction. Many of us routinely feel overwhelmed and struggle to focus on what we need to get done. But a new book, co-written by Dutch expert Oscar de Bos, suggests doing so may be easier than we think. He argues that we can better harness our attention by better understanding our brains and learning how to manage common leaks of our concentration. So I feel to read what we commonly get wrong about focusing and how we can better manage our minds. So the post is, are you constantly distracted? 10 common myths about attention and some practical ways to combat them. This is gonna be a long post. Alright, myth: concentrating is hard. Most of us don't find it hard to focus on something we're interested in, points out Oscar, who co-wrote the book Focus On Off, a practical guide to mastering your focus and resisting burnout. What we condemn as distractions are just the brain prioritizing what it perceives as most important at that moment. Yes, you might conclude that checking the Instagram wasn't the best use of your time, but your brain didn't struggle to act on the urge to open the app and enjoy some pictures of your friends or strangers' cats. It shows that focusing isn't hard. Where we run into difficulty is by struggling against our brains and even judging them for doing what they're built to do, says the boss. The next myth is turn off notifications to focus. Most of us know to turn off notifications to limit interruptions from our phones, but even having our device within sight solely drains our concentration. Right? A 2017 study by researchers at the University of Texas found that participants performed better when their phones were in a different room compared with when the device were inside, right? Or even inside a pocket or a bag. They're both suggesting moving it to a different room and or turning it off when you want to get deep work done. Even when your desk and workspace are clear and minimizing open browser tabs can aid cognitive capacity, he says. Oh, that's... Wow. Concentrate. Myth: we should be striving for flow, the antithesis of a fragile, jumpy state of mind and frequently put forward as optimal for productivity, is the fabled flow state, whereby we're absorbed in what we're doing. Is characterized by total concentration and such effortless, productive attention that we're not even aware of time passing. It's nice when you can get it, says the boss, but it's not realistic to aim for routinely. Set yourself a lower bar, says the boss. Focus is just a few seconds of doing the same thing. The flow state is more difficult. Myth is only a quick email. The biggest theme of our focus is task switching. Sometimes this is put upon us by external interruptions, but the trigger can also be internal. A thought will register and will act on it, almost without thinking. You might think it only takes a second, but every time you switch to a new task, part of your brain clings to what you were just doing, splitting your attention, slowing you down, and making you less effective. The best way to improve your focus is to take whatever steps you can to minimize this task switching. The boss suggests checking your emails before or during meeting, shutting down your inbox while you're doing complex work and not starting tasks you don't have time to finish. With getting stuff done takes peace and quiet. We might think we need total silence to focus, but the boss disagrees. That's why our minds tend to wander when faced with a task we find boring, easy, or slow. Everything else is more exciting. One solution is increasing the level of mental challenge. If you're struggling to read a dense document while your colleagues are having a noisy conversation, try reading faster, the boss suggests. Similarly, listening to music you know well and are unlikely to be distracted by can help you to engage with work you don't find stimulating. Myth take the easy wins. It can be tempting to pad out your to-do list with small wins as a way to motivate yourself to tackle more, but the boss cautions against it. For some people, it works because you can get a kind of like dopamine rush, right? He says, but often those easy victories work against us by draining our finite mental reserves. He supports what's known as the eating the frog method of time management and tackling your most important tasks first. The brain tires with exertion over the course of the day, making us less effective and more impulsive. Myth: limit social media to breaks. Spacing out mentally taxing activities and taking breaks from work are both important. But what we do in those breaks is also vital. Scrolling social media, reading, and other activities we find fun or refreshing might be less demanding than work, but still involve taking in new information. Your brain is not recharging in that moment, says the boss. Without regular opportunities for the brain to pause and do mostly nothing, over time you can suffer stress, sleeping issues, and potentially burn out. The most restorative activities are those that require very little of you, such as going for a walk without headphones or even staring out the window. Myth: we should all be time blocking. Many productivity hackers swear by time blocking, where you plan out your day hour by hour and assign hours or minutes to a particular task or activity in the calendar. If it works for you, great, says the boss. Just don't then also use a to-do list, as you risk creating inconsistencies between that and your calendar, not to mention potentially spending more time on productivity management than being productive. For us, for some people, however, time blocking is a headache and sometimes counterproductive, given that it depends on our faulty powers of prediction. But most meetings should be emails. While nobody likes meetings, the trend for making them shorter or replacing them with Emails isn't helping our ability to focus, says the boss. It takes at least 10 minutes to really engage with an activity, meaning many meetings are over just as they're getting started, leading to more meetings. But managing, sending, and replying to emails is an even bigger drain on our concentration. So try to be intentional and considerate in your communication. Lastly, last one, myth: we can't beat big tech. Between the stranglehold of big tech, reports of screen addiction, and shortening attention spans, it's easy to feel hopeless about our ability to focus. But the boss is refreshingly optimistic. Yes, the modern world is riddled with sources of distraction, but we also have more power to resist them than we might assume. Perhaps your struggles with focus stem from asking too much of yourself. We get so nervous about not being productive, says the boss, but our brains need breaks and time to recover just as our bodies do. Sometimes it might be best to stay into the middle distance. Wow.